In this video, I'm going to share my interview magnet formula. It's 3 phases that will turn your resume and LinkedIn profile into conversation starters that will allow you to attract interviews and job offers. The truth is that your resume and LinkedIn profile are the most powerful tools that will allow recruiters and hiring managers to say to themselves, we need to meet this person. But here's the problem. Most resumes and LinkedIn profile tell them what you've done, but not why it matters. In case we haven't met, I'm Danielle Bradley. I'm a career coach, and I've helped over 300 mid-career professionals get hired for the role they want. And if you're in a job search right now and you're not landing interviews, chances are your job search tools are not working for you. And we need to fix that. Let's get into it. Here's what I see all the time. Resumes that list tasks, and LinkedIn profiles with headlines that are just too generic to stand out. Your headline on LinkedIn is right under your profile picture. People get confused about what they should put on their headline on LinkedIn right below your profile picture, as well as your about section. So they end up putting things in there that don't help them get found for the right opportunities. And most resumes read like a history book. We want to think about it as a highlight reel, but it's not about where you've been. It really should be about where you want to go next. And when you do this right, your resume and LinkedIn profile become interview magnets. So here's my interview magnet formula. It's 3 parts. Number 1 is the right message. Number 2 is the right story. And number 3 is the right results. Let me break this down. The right message is all about your professional brand. And I hear this all the time. People get confused about their professional brand. They don't know what it should be, what it is. Let me break this down. In its simplest form, it's about who you are, what you bring, and the problems that you solve for employers. When you get this right, employers clearly understand the problems that you solve, the solutions that you bring to the table. After all, the reason why there's a job opening is because the employer has problems that they need to solve. And the more you can position yourself as the problem solver through your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your interview stories, the better your chances of landing the offer. So the right message means that you define the exact problems that you are able to solve because you have solved them before, and this aligns with the type of problems that you want to solve, the type of role that you want. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. Part 2 is having the right story. The right story means there's alignment between your resume and your LinkedIn profile, as well as your interview stories, of course. You want to reinforce the same message. This builds credibility, and it also makes you memorable. And memorable is what sells in this market. When you have the right story, you have clear proof of impact, the metrics, the scope, the outcomes. This will show that you can deliver on what they're looking for, and it will make you interview worthy. Part number 3 is the right results. This is where most people fall short, unfortunately. It can be hard to do. Most people have resume bullets that sound like job description that lists duties and not impact. Now, I want to tell you a story because if this is a struggle for you, you are not alone, and you may have some blind spots as well. Most people do. I recently received an email from someone who's not a client, someone in my audience, and here's what they said. I have followed your tips already on my resume. I use an ATS-friendly resume with keywords. I have an opening summary, and I've included results rather than a job description. I still cannot find a job. They sent me their resume. I took a look at it, and there were some good elements. However, they did not have enough results to position themselves for the type of role that they wanted. Not at all, even though they thought they did. So let me read you an example. This person was looking for a marketing and communications director role. Here's one of the bullets. Planned quarterly budget, managed expenses, and maintained weekly short-term goals to achieve long-term goals. Unfortunately, it sounds good, but we're missing the punchline. There are no measurable results here. Here's what we would want to include in a bullet like this to make it impactful. What were the long-term goals, and how did we do against them? What were the actual results against the goals? Here's an example of what that could look like. Directed quarterly budget planning and expense management across a $50 million marketing and communications budget, improved spend efficiency by 18%, and supported long-term brand and revenue goals. See the difference? It's one thing to describe what we've done, and it's a complete other thing to include the specific results and outcomes. Now, I know some of you are managers of people, and you may think it may be difficult, for instance, to have a measurable result that showcases leadership. But there are always outcomes that we can speak to if we really think about it. So here's an example for leadership. You could say, manage a team of 10 people, or you could say, coached and develop a 10-person team, improving employee retention by 20% versus the prior year. Now, I understand we don't always have metrics. Some companies do a really good job of tracking metrics and setting metrics, and others don't. However, there's always going to be a result and an outcome. Otherwise, why would we be doing the thing? Now let's talk about how this works on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not a social media platform. I like to think about it as a search engine because it really is. And recruiters are using it daily to find candidates. They're not just checking out profiles. They're actively looking for people that have the qualifications and the experience that they're looking for positions in the hidden job market where 70+% of roles actually are. So it's really important for your LinkedIn to be optimized for the type of role that you want. And similarly to your resume on LinkedIn, you want to have the right message, the right story, and the right results. That's how you can attract interviews on LinkedIn. Let me share a real life example of a client, Ali. He was a senior financial professional and had been looking for a new job for almost a year before we started our work together. On paper, he was highly qualified and he just was not getting any traction at all. He had applied to dozens of roles and was getting constant rejection. When I looked at his resume and LinkedIn profile, the issues were clear to me. On LinkedIn, his headline and about section were really vague, and his resume really didn't position the results that he could deliver for employers. We upgraded his resume, optimized his LinkedIn profile, and within a couple of months, a recruiter reached out to him for a position that he'd been previously rejected for. This time, he landed the role and at a higher salary than he was at before. Same experience, same person, just completely different positioning through his resume and his LinkedIn profile. So here's what I want you to do. Have a look at your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Ask yourself, do I have the right message? Is it clear what problems I solve for employers? Do I have the right story, the right positioning? Does my LinkedIn profile align with my resume? And do I have the right results? Am I showing impact, not just duties? If the answer is no to any of this, that's what you need to fix. Your resume and LinkedIn profile are the most powerful tools in your job search tool belt, but only if they're working for you as interview magnets. When you get this right, opportunities come to you. You don't have to do all the heavy lifting of applying to dozens, if not hundreds of roles online. And if you'd like some help to turn your resume and LinkedIn profile into interview magnets, then I'd love to speak with you. We do have free job search strategy calls. You can sign up via the link below this video. And now that you know the formula for how to become an interview magnet, check out this video where I show you why your resume might not be working right now. And in that video, I share real before and after resume bullets that landed an interview in less than 30 days.